doesn't quite crack the top 10. So, just aside is Memorial Stadium in Clemson Tigers, also known as Death Valley. I think that's what it's called, right? Death Valley? Bang. I don't know. Established 1942, Memorial Stadium. Moving into the top 10, we have Neyland Stadium of the Tennessee Vols. Established 1921. Quick notes here: members of the Vol Navy set sail as early as the middle of the part of the week for Neyland Stadium, which is banks the Tennessee River. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of sailgating that goes on in the Tennessee River just outside of. Just outside of there actually, so that's fun. Sailgating. That's a fun little thing. Number 9, we have Bryant Denny Stadium, soon to be called Nick Saban Field as well. Alabama Crimson Tide, 1917 when it was established. Camp Randall Stadium, Wisconsin Badgers, established in 1917. Camp Randall is cool. I like that stadium. It looks pretty awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty fun. It's very, very old too. Ohio Stadium, Ohio State Buckeyes. Isn't theirs is a horseshoe, right? I think it's called the horseshoe. Yeah, the horseshoe. Usually a lot of people in there. I know it holds like over 100,000 people, I think, or maybe like barely before it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But no, that is the home of the Buckeyes, established 1922. It's been there for 102 years. Husky Stadium, University of Washington. It's not. Is it in Seattle? Or is it just outside of Seattle? Don't know. But still, Husky Stadium, cool place. I'm a Washington State fan, so I can't like that stadium. Beaver Stadium, Penn State Nittany Lions. Does this one hold the most? No, this one holds the second most, I believe. 106,572 people can fit in the stadium. It's a mega stadium. Yeah, second largest venue by capacity. I believe Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor is bigger. I think it's the biggest. Let's see, Notre Dame Stadium, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. It's a cool stadium. It's also just, yeah, it's just a fun place. Man. It's a pretty cool area. Established 1930. So actually, one thing to go back real quick is Penn State Beaver Stadium. It is a newer stadium. 1960. We've seen a lot of 1917s to 30. So, you know, it's definitely much newer than that. But it is a mega stadium. And then we have Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan Wolverines, established 1927. Largest by capacity, 107,601 people can fit inside that stadium. Number 2, we have the Rose Bowl Stadium. UCLA Bruins, established in 1922. Of course, the Rose Bowl takes place every year. It's pretty awesome. It's that very legendary place. And then we have, of course, Tiger Stadium. LSU Tigers, established in 1924. Pretty cool. Yeah, so that was number 1. No one got the prediction right. I'm sorry. No one got the prediction right. I'm swipe down here. We're going to get into the next article. I don't know how I plan on doing this, but live reactions are fun, so probably for a little while. Okay. Post-spring, top 25 is the team's biggest question marks heading into the fall. Cover here is Steve Sarkisian doing Hook 'em Horns. Alrighty. So starting at number 1, Georgia Bulldogs is who's ranked preseason number 1 if you follow college football. That's what this section is going to be about. The question mark is their pass rush. Something they have not lacked in a long time. So to see them lacking it, very interesting. But I don't think they're lacking it because I feel like they're just so strong that even things they're strong in can be considered a weakness. Junior Michael Williams is considered a potential first-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, producing 7.5 sacks in the first 2 seasons. He will play more outside linebacker in 2024, a move that the coaching staff hopes will free him up to rush the passer more. He got 7.5 sacks not rushing the passer. Scared to see what this guy will do when he's full rushing the passer. All right, Ohio State's question mark quarterback. They got Will Howard from Kansas State. I don't know how I feel about that. Right? Because Will Howard was good. But now he has to compete in this new super competitive Big Ten. I I don't know. Definitely a lot of lingering questions there if you're Ohio State. But I do have to say, I don't know. I don't think it's that much of a question. I feel like they'll be fine. I feel like their bigger question is, can they beat, like, will Michigan be good without Harbaugh? Because if Michigan's good, that's their biggest issue, is figuring out how to beat this Michigan team that beat them the last 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Okay, number 3, Texas Longhorns, question mark, is their pass defense. Should also be their quarterback situation, because there's going to be a lot of interesting feelings in that locker room when you have a guy who thought he was going to be the guy and another guy who is the guy. And that being Arch Manning, who thought he was going to be the guy who isn't, and Quinn Ewers, who is the guy right now for them. They ranked 116th pass defense last season. I don't understand how they did that good if they were that bad at pass defense. I mean, is that even possible to be that bad at pass defense? I don't even know what's possible. And be that good. Whatever. Giving up 254 passing yards per game, with Michael Penix completing 76% of his attempts for 430 yards in the college football playoff game. That's why they lost, folks. They needed pass defense. That's true. Oregon Ducks, biggest question mark is safeties. I would have to actually go into their roster and look at their safety room to give a fair assumption of what I think about this, and I'm not going to do that right now. So, just believe it when I tell you, or when ESPN tells you, Oregon Ducks need safeties. Number 5, Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Biggest question mark is receiver. I would also put a question mark as Riley Leonard, because they're putting a lot into him after he transferred there from Duke. And let me tell you, this guy, I'm not too confident in. With Riley Leonard's legs, a big O-line, and a talented backfield, not to mention a burgeoning star in tight end Mitchell Evans, there's not a ton of pressure on the receivers to put up earth-shattering numbers. But genuine progress will be critical to an Irish offense that's lost 3 games last season. You know, the head coach of Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, made a really good point when he said the 12-team playoff is the saving grace if you're a Notre Dame fan. And that is very true. But it's not if you lose 3 games. Because they're still independent, and thus they can't win the ACC and get an automatic bid. They can't win any conference to get an automatic bid, which means you're going to need to have a really good record. And they're giving out 5 bids and then 7 at large, and I will say Notre Dame gets put way higher than they usually deserve in those CFP rankings. So, that being said, if they lose only like 2 games, then yeah, they'll probably be in, and it'd be interesting to see what they do. Number 6, Ole Miss Rebels. Once again, I'm not really going to look into this one. They say the biggest question mark is roster depth. I'm not going to look at the roster right now. Maybe I'll make a video on that later. Alabama Crimson Tide. Question mark is returning receivers. Who did they lose? They lost some guys to the draft, I know, but I don't know. I'd say that's not their biggest question. Their biggest question is, Nick Saban's gone. What now? Like, you're talking a whole new coach, a coach who has won like 6 or 7 national championships there. Greatest coach in the history of college football just left, and your biggest question is returning receivers? The heck? How? Doesn't even make sense. Whatever. Number 8, Missouri Tigers. Question mark is their defense. Once again, I don't really know a ton about their defense. So you heard it here first, folks, or maybe not, I don't know. Utah Utes, question mark is quarterback. That could not be a truer statement. Cam Rising is, like, just the most inconsistent guy. When he's healthy, he's just amazing. He's just the best. You're just not going to find someone better than him to play, like, on that team. He's the best player on their team, no doubt. But he's hurt a lot. And he's coming off another year of injuries. He's older than, like, any other guy in college football right now. But, yeah, I'd say that's a really big question for them. Okay, once again, I'm just going to skip past this Michigan Wolverines. Question mark is wide receiver. They lost Roman Wilson. He was their best guy. They also lost J.J. McCarthy, their star quarterback, and their head coach, who had been there for so many years, and who just won them a national championship. Their biggest question is the coach, I would say, or anything else. Florida State Seminoles, question mark, depth at receiver and linebacker. I'm not going to look too much into their depth. Wait a minute. They have a Florida State has a guy named Jaylen Brown playing on their football team. Jaylen Brown, the basketball player who just won the NBA championship, went to Cal, not Florida State. Never mind. He did not go to Florida State. I thought he did. Penn State and the Lions, number 12. Question marks, offensive tackle. I don't know anything about them. I'm skipping. NC State Wolfpack are 13th. What? Question mark is running back. They'll be fine. That's wild. They're that far up. LSU Tigers, question mark is pass defense. Yeah, that's fair. 118th pass defense last year. That's why they weren't that good, guys. They fell apart. Fell apart like crazy. Lost to Florida State, too. Alrighty. Tennessee Vols. Defense. Yeah, they weren't very good last year. Question marks for Clemson is their quarterback and their coach and what else? Oh, everything. Because why are we not questioning everything going on there? They still have Cade Klubnik. Looks like he could be good. Looks like he could suck. I don't know. I don't care. I don't like Clemson. And I don't know if I really want to see him do too good. So I'm just going to skip past that one. There's 13, Kansas State depth at linebacker.